My name is Andy Lancy, and this is my Deeper Still story. 32 years ago, in 1989, I was 19 years old. I was separated from my family and living with a boyfriend, and I eventually found out I was pregnant. I decided to have an abortion, and on March 17th, 1989, we drove to Allentown, Pennsylvania, where I had the procedure done. We were under the impression that the baby wasn't alive until a certain point. So we did feel some pressure that we had to have the procedure done by a certain number of weeks. And then I further rationalized to myself that why would the Supreme Court of the United States, that was supposed to be full of smart people, allow such a procedure to be done if it was actually murder. Thought I was worldly at the time, but very naive to political agendas and just politicians in general back then. So for the next several years after the procedure, I didn't really think about it much. I just didn't want to. I tried to shove the memory down. I was embarrassed and ashamed, and I felt a lot of guilt about it, so I just chose not to think about it. I can compartmentalize things very well. So I just compartmentalized that into a corner of my brain, trying not to recall it at all. But over those number of years, also, things were just starting to come about. I think maybe God had put these things in my path, things that I would read or that I would see on television about embryos and fetus and when heartbeats were heard and things like that. And I did eventually come to the realization of what I'd done, which made it even worse. I became very angry on the outside over very simple things. I became a perfectionist of myself, and I think it was to make up for, if I thought I was perfect, if I felt I was perfect at everything, then I would somehow be okay. And obviously that's not true. So over a number of years, I found myself back at church, married with 2 children. And in the summer of 2018, God started orchestrating a number of events that eventually led to me going to a retreat with Deeper Still in April 2019. I remember driving to the retreat and being nervous, not knowing what to expect. And I remember pulling up, and this sweet, sweet woman came out, and she helped me carry my luggage, and we went up to my room. We were in a chalet type of a retreat center, and when I got into the room, my name was on the bed, and there was a gift bag there, and it really just was, it made me feel that somebody actually cared about the space I was in, and that I wasn't alone, and I wasn't the only person that felt the way that I did. A number of things happened during the retreat, and the first thing I noticed was that I could actually fully worship. It was like, for the longest time, there was a wall between me and God, and I could see him, but he was like way on the other side of this big, huge concrete wall. And Friday night, when we started worshiping and inviting the Holy Spirit in, I just felt that wall go away. And I was always one in church watching the clock going like, come on, come on, come on. We have things to do. And all I wanted to do was sit there and worship all night. I would have been happy just staying there singing and praying. It was just a wonderful experience. And that was the first night. There was a number of things throughout that whole weekend that we went through that God just showed me he was right there with me, right next to me, holding my hand. When we got to the memorial service on Sunday, I was realizing a couple of things, that myself and the other participants were able to actually grieve our children. We were memorializing them, we were honoring them, but we were able to grieve them in a space. The Deeper Still team was giving us that space, and there's nowhere else that you can do that. And then the second thing that I realized was I was a true daughter of the King. I am a true daughter of the King. And for a number of years, I thought I was going to enter heaven by the back door with my head down because of what I did, because I murdered my own child. But I realized during the memorial service that I wasn't going to enter heaven by the back door, that there isn't a back door to heaven. There's only the front door, and Jesus is waiting there for us with his arms open wide. And I just can't wait to see him. I can't wait to meet my Jordan. And I know now that not only does Jesus forgive me, but my Jordan forgives me too. And I will never have enough words to thank the Deeper Still team who served that weekend. That weekend was so special to me. Since the retreat, I have felt such a freedom in my spirit. I was driving home from the retreat and realized that God had given me my voice back. And I had felt for a number of years that he had a calling on my life, and he was trying to give me that calling, but I was fighting it. And when I was driving home from the retreat and I felt that release from that bondage, those chains that I had been under for literally decades were gone, I knew that I was what I was supposed to do. I knew that I was going to be used by God to tell my story, to help others find the freedom that I was able to gain through Jesus Christ. And it's through the Deeper Still team that I was able to do this, and I will be forever thankful to them for the opportunity to get my voice back and to walk out his calling on my life in freedom.